What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. I am your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with another banger, my friends. So kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
On today's episode, I want to discuss a hot topic right now that's been going around. I will have a 2025 WNBA complete mock draft live tomorrow, but I wanted to discuss the number one pick overall because it seems like right now it is a two-horse race between Paige Beckers of UConn and Kiki Iriafen of USC, formerly Stanford. Now, both of these young players make a great case to be the number one pick. Both of them will be in the running for National Player of the Year. Both of their squads, respectfully, will be in the running for a national title. They both will be must-see TV this upcoming season. Now, Iriafen kind of came out of nowhere, man. Just jumping from one, last year, she was more of a role player. Cam Brink was kind of the face of the team. And then her junior year, she completely breaks out, leads the team in scoring and rebounding, easily the NCAA's most improved player, and, won some accolades, deservingly so. We saw her game become complete where she could knock down the elbow jumper. The offense came along very nicely, the post game, the footwork, the touch around the rim, the hands, the mobility, the ability to impact the glass on both sides of the basketball, bother shots. Like, we just saw her truly blossom last season. On the other side, you got Paige Beckers, who was a freshman sensation, National Player of the Year, who missed 2 seasons due to season-ending injuries. Came back last season and maybe played the best ball we've seen her play on both sides in at least since her freshman year, maybe ever at UConn. Willed a injury-riddled squad to the Final Four, heights that nobody saw this team reaching. And Bueckers and Aaliyah Edwards and Nika Mule, the three-headed monster, were a huge reason why. Beckers showed toughness and versatility last season, man. She played out of position majority of the year playing the 4, even though she is a true point guard, man. And I just genuinely think durability for her has been a concern. And we'll talk about the pros and the cons. And we'll start off with Paige Beckers, man, because I think right now she's the favorite to be the number one pick overall, depending on which mock draft you look at. And I think it'll also depend on fit, man. I mean, you got the LA Sparks or the Washington Mystics or the Dallas Wings. I mean, Beckers would be a great fit for any of these teams. Like, they all could use a point guard, to be honest with you. And she would make any of those rosters better. It would just be a great fit. You look at Washington, Aaliyah Edwards would be a prime target for her, man. We've seen what these two did at UConn. We saw the production. They have talent. I love Shakira Austin, Jasmine Sykes. If they get Elena Delle Donne back and they can add Paige Beckers, Washington is absolutely, without a doubt, a playoff team. Bet your money on that for sure. She would be great for the Sparks, man. They don't really have a true point guard that is really a playmaker to her level right now. She could accelerate the production and the progression of the likes of Cameron Brink, who will be coming back from an ACL. But for a young big, having a really good guard to make life easier, the pick and pop capabilities. You got Rakia Jackson on the wing. We've seen Dearica Hamby just be elite at times this season. The most improved player in the WNBA, in my opinion. Beckers would fit really well with them. She would fit really well with Enrique as well, with McGowan and Odyssey Sims. Like, that would be, and JC Sheldon. That would be a very tough team to beat as well. If they can hold on to Satu as well, hey, you're talking about a legit contender potentially out there for the playoffs. So, Paige Beckers elevates the squad as well. Her versatility, her defensive prowess. I mean, we're talking about the most efficient player coming into the league that we've seen in some time. The most efficient player in women's college hoops right now. There's no wasted movements. Every dribble, every jab step, every pump fake has a purpose to get her to her spot. And I think she will have an easier adjustment to the WNBA than any rookie that we've seen in the past 2 draft classes. Her feel for the game, her size, and being a natural point guard, she has a natural position, a natural feel, the pace that she plays with, and just her IQ, her ability to just dissect and be a couple of plays ahead. I think it's going to be an easy adjustment. I think her game right now fits the WNBA better than even Caitlin Clark's. I think it'll be an easier adjustment. I don't think we will see the level of turnovers. I think the shot selection will be better as well. And I just think she'll have an immediate impact and won't struggle like some of the rookies we saw. Of course, we'll see some ups, we'll see some downs, but I think Paige just has a game that is made for the WNBA, and she will succeed almost immediately, in my opinion, no matter where she goes. But looking at those top 3, I think any of those teams could use her at that point guard position. Neither one of them literally have a solid, like Odyssey Sims is the goods. If Dallas were to go big, I think the most likely would be Washington or LA picking Paige Beckers. I definitely could see Dallas going for a big if Kiki is there. Um, that's like, this is no knock on Odyssey Sims. She's a dog. Love her game, and she's a good point guard. But Paige Beckers could make life a lot easier for Odyssey Sims as well as Enrique, who are more so scoring the basketball right now. She would take some pressure off, and that would be a nice 3-headed monster dependent. They also have Chicago's pick, so that is something to monitor. Even if they did go get Kiki, they could go get like an Olivia Miles later. But the pros with Paige Beckers, obviously the efficiency, feel for the game, the markability. She's the first collegiate athlete to have her own Nike colorway with the GT. She is going to probably be the face of women's college basketball. She's already invested, gotten ownership, and will play in the Unrivaled League. We've seen what one player's marketability and popularity can do for a franchise. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Do I need to say more? The Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky are first and second in merchandise sales right now, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are first and second right now in jersey sales. Do I need to talk about the importance of markability? It would be cool to see Paige go out there to the Bay as well and launch that franchise. That would be a good look for them, but not sure where they'll be picking at. But if you look at it from that perspective too, you have a player that is recognizable way more so than Kiki, that's popular, that has been on the national stage, that is plugged into the culture, that is at all the award shows, that is doing modeling gigs, that has millions of followers on social media collectively. She is a brand, and you bring a rookie like that into your franchise, you're going to sell tickets, you're going to put butts in seats, and that's part of the game right now. That is a major component, I think, right now for the WNBA, because we're seeing with the growth and how it was expedited by Caitlin Clark as well as Angel Reese. We know what one player can do and how much money they can bring to a franchise. Caitlin Clark is out there doing numbers in Indiana. They went from one of the worst teams in the league to the hottest ticket in the league because of one player. Every game they've had, home or on the road, has been sold out. Paige Beckers has that kind of impact. And, if you're considering marketability and launching your franchise to new heights, Paige Beckers might be the move. On the other side, she has had 2 season-ending injuries. ACLs are nothing to play with. Do you feel comfortable as a franchise betting your future, betting your job as a GM on a player that has been injured 2 out of 4 seasons? Are you comfortable with that? That is the question. Do you trust her body to hold up? In her defense, I think it was more so on UConn, the athletic and the training staffs, to be honest with y'all, because it wasn't just Beckers. I mean, we saw AZ Fudd go out. We saw Aubrey Griffin, Caroline Deshawn, like the list goes on. We saw mad players go out. They almost lost half the roster last season. So I don't think it's just Paige, but you got to look at those injuries. You got to consider that. This is the pros. Will her body hold up? The WNBA is extremely grueling. There are no off nights, and you're playing against elite competition almost on a nightly basis. Can her body hold up? We've seen players break down, and we know Beckers at 100% is elite, but we have only seen her elite about half the time. Your best ability is availability. Would you bet your franchise on Paige Beckers staying healthy? Personally, I would. But that's got to be in the back of your mind too. ACL tears. She came back stronger than ever. But if it happens again, would she be the same player? There's no guarantee there. And then on the other side, you got Kiki, who I think would be a great fit for any of those teams as well. Just with the big situation, though, with Cameron Brink and Wnba, I don't see Los Angeles going after Kiki. Even though, hey, she's a California native. Respect to her. She went back home to LA, and she's going to be a star there. They're definitely going to be tuning into her game, seeing her make noise. USC is going to be the hottest ticket. She's going to be right down the street. So the Los Angeles Sparks will get more so an up close and personal look than maybe any other franchise at Kiki. Maybe they decide that, hey, Brink's coming back. We're not sure how effective that ACL will be, how long it will take her to get back to 100%. Maybe they go out and draft Kiki and reunite the former Stanford Cardinal teammates. Maybe. The Mystics, you're not really sure what Elena Delle Donne is going to do yet. We haven't really heard any decision on if she will return. They could move on from her. Maybe they decide, to add to that young front court, add another young piece that's versatile. Leah Edwards, Shakira Austin, and Kiki would be a very formidable front court that could score the basketball, that could defend, that you're talking about players that can spread the floor and open things up for those slashers in that backcourt that like to attack the cup. Size, more length, it's something to consider. And then you look at the Dallas Wings. Maybe they're looking to bulk up on size too. They're a team that has battled injuries, has had their front court banged up. Maybe they want to add some new blood to that lineup. More versatile skill set, someone to open up the floor for Enrique and Odyssey Sims and JC Sheldon to make shots. Kiki can do that. She's dominant on the glass as well. She's fundamentally sound. She's extremely skilled. She can pass the basketball. Maybe a team like that looks at her well, gives her a really long look as well. The positives there are the ceiling. We don't know how good she could be. She oozes potential. I think her best basketball is absolutely ahead of her. She adds that three-point shot, game over. Like, we have seen her continue to expand her range. I want to see that three-point shot become a strength. We've seen just the growth and the strides that she's made in the last 18 months. You continue to develop that, she's going to be playing with the most talent she's ever played with USC. She has a chance to be in that Player of the Year running, playing with Juju Watkins, playing next to Rhea Marshall, playing with other great guards. They got Kaylee Heckle coming in. They got Kennedy Brown coming in, or Kennedy Smith, coming in. I mean, USC is going to be a show and a national championship. That's hard to overlook, man. She also hasn't dealt with any severe injuries as well. She's been relatively healthy and played a lot of games. She's a winner. The con is she doesn't bring that star power that Paige does off the court. On the court, Kiki's a star. She can do it all. She's a stud, and you can potentially run the offense through her, or she could be a very good complementary piece. She doesn't have the star power. She does not have the following of Paige. That could definitely change. We've seen players become stars overnight in women's college hoops. So that definitely could change, especially when she's going to be playing against one of the hottest. She's going to be playing with one of the hottest tickets in the Big Ten Conference too, which I think is going to be major. Moving from the Pac-12, playing on those West Coast times, now she will be playing on East Coast Eastern Standard Times. So, if you didn't get to see her at Stanford, maybe didn't get enough eyeballs on her last year, I think that will increase this year. A lot more people are going to see her play. So I think this conference realignment really works into her favor. You got UCLA in that conference. You got Michigan. You got Iowa, who I think will be better than people think. The Big Ten, Maryland did some really great things as well in the portal. The Big Ten, Ohio State still going to be there. Excited to see Jelani Cambridge. The Big Ten's going to be loaded. So I think getting out of the Pac-12, playing in a better conference, getting more nationally televised games could go major to make her stake for the number one pick. Depending on which mock draft you're looking at, both these players have been mentioned in the number one conversation. It really depends on fit too and who actually gets the number one pick and the team need. That will be a major factor. But if we're just talking about talent, I think both these will be a home run hit. They both have different pros. They both have different cons. Most of I would say Kiki's cons are her more so not being really a brand right now, and that's such a big thing in the WNBA as where Beckers is. Beckers' injury history is a red flag. But at the same time, we can go off of what have you done for me lately, and we saw this season she had quite a season, Big East Player of the Year. But y'all let me know, who do y'all think should go number one? Who has the better case? Holler at your boy. We will have a full mock draft on the live tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned for that. Until next time, hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay up with all the latest and the greatest. I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, your host, and thank y'all for the support. We out.